And then wrestling kicks off early December. They go to the Marlington Duels. And then for junior high, we start right after Thanksgiving break. Junior high boys will host Woodridge here on the 30th, and our girls will travel to Woodridge. Junior high wrestling has a little bit longer. They don't start until December 16th. We'll travel out to Coventry. And I just wanted to note, in addition to junior high sports, we have youth sports back in action here at Springfield, with the COVID delay. A lot of change over the past couple years. Our girls youth basketball program started this Sunday. 40 teams come into the building from multiple communities every Sunday. And that's our girls Coach Kevin Pletcher, and our girls program that run that league every Sunday. And then youth wrestling has started back up. They started on November 1st, working out of the field house. And then our boys basketball is going to begin with open gyms early December on the 8th, and then they start their competitive play after the new year. So, fall and winter in a nutshell. Any questions?
Girls golf, what was your record?
This year we're 14-4. Took second place in both of our tournaments that we were in, and had one first team and two second team.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job, Coach. Looking maybe to advance in the future. Play tough. Yeah, we play a tough district in Division I. A lot of really big schools golf. There's only 2 divisions, and that may change in the future with some of the enrollment being down for Springfield, because we're like the lowest, right?
Yeah,
we are the cut line.
The last team in Division I, so we're the smallest
Yeah.
team in Division I.
So there could be, if things are similar, there could be a chance of us dropping down to Division II, which, Coach, looking at numbers, feels there's a good way that we could get out moving forward throughout the district tournament in the regionals. So.
I know it's not a fall or winter sport, but I am curious, and don't say names if it's not publicly available yet, but I'm curious just how the process is going for looking for a baseball coach.
Yeah, process is finished. We completed it, made all phone calls to those that have applied. We are ready to hire. We do have an internal candidate, just pending board approval.
Okay, any idea when that'll come before the board?
Next
This year, next year?
month.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thought about putting it on this one, but agenda's due on Thursdays when she likes it. She was out of town, and that's when we offered it, so I just said it can wait.
Thanks, Kevin.
But I will say that I was impressed with the candidates, and good relationships with all of them, and it was a tough decision. But everybody did a good job. Anything else? Again, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
4.2, Special Services Department Update with Christina Zigabud, Special Services Director.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update since I don't know what it's been, 3 months I've been here. So one of the pieces that I've noticed right away as a need throughout the district was just regarding behavior and supporting our teachers that have students that have special needs in the area of behavior. In the fall, we had some IDEA money that has to be used on specific things as usual. So I decided that it would be a good thing to work with the ESC and bring in a BCBA. A BCBA is a behavior analyst. They come in and they observe the student, they sort of take a deep dive into the student's behavior, and then they help work with the school team to make a plan on correcting that behavior and help, in a positive way, support the teachers, support the aides or whoever is working with that student. So we have had the BCBA come to the high school and to Spring Hill so far and observed 2 students that the teachers have had some challenges with this year. And so far, they've done their observations, they've given some feedback, and they're in the process of working with the school team to come up with a plan to help those students. This is a good thing for a couple different reasons. You know, a lot of times these kids present with, you know, other disabilities besides just a behavior need. They maybe have an autism diagnosis or multiple handicap diagnosis, and they can help us with finding the right communication tools, work with the speech therapist, work, you know, and all the different facets of what that student might need, and hopefully keep them in Springfield so that we don't have to look at an out-of-district placement. So I feel that's very important to me because they make relationships with their typical peers as well as their other peers in their classrooms. So hopefully, with the expertise of that behavior analyst, we can make some progress with those kids and see good growth. So this is just the beginning of using the behavior analyst as a tool in our district and as a resource. So I'm looking forward to the feedback they give us and how we move forward with that, with the collaboration with our staff. On the other piece, I have always been a very firm believer in the mental health of our students and also some of their behaviors. We have 2 resource rooms up here at the high school that deal with students that have some severe behavior needs as well. So I've been talking this fall with Red Oak, who provides services to our district already, and they are going to do some whole class therapeutic lessons with our 2 behavior resource rooms here at the high school once a week from January till the remainder of the year. So that will just be working with those kids on mindfulness, maybe some strategies on how to deal with, you know, impulse behavior, you know, what are some things they can do when they get upset or angry or they don't feel heard. So hopefully giving those students the coping skills they need will help them in challenging situations they have in the school environment, and then ideally we hope they take that out to the community and can use that at their jobs or places of work or helping their family members. So the other thing I just wanted to talk about really quick is the staff and I are at the beginning stages of meeting to share out information and updates as appropriate. It is really hard to nail down a time to talk with the intervention specialists, but we've squeezed some time each month, and so we've met twice so far, and my goal is to continue to do that monthly so that I can keep them up to date with things that I hear about from the ESC or from legal updates or whatnot, and then they can also keep me updated on what's happening in the buildings that I might not see when I'm just walking through. So far, you know, like I said, we've only had 2 meetings, but I feel like it's gone well and that we've been able to make some connections. And then we are in the process also of revitalizing the internal compliance team. This was a team that was made in the past and a handful of teachers had training on it. So myself and 2 other staff folks went through training last week, and we're going to bring that internal monitoring compliance team back together and start looking critically at our ETRs and our IEPs to make sure that we're moving in the right direction and staying afloat to things that change. And special education, one day it's one way and the next day it's the next. So that way we can keep up to date and keep communicating amongst the staff. So that team consists of people from all 3 different buildings and then myself. And it now includes all 3 psychologists, which I think is really important to have them as part of the team too, because they're working, their ETRs are important documents, but also they're working with the staff when problems arise, and they're at all the meetings. So I think that's it. So we're gonna, the internal compliance meeting, or first meeting is next Tuesday, so I'm excited to work with that group too. So that's a nutshell of what I've been doing so far.
Thank you. Any questions?
Do you have any questions?
I'm not familiar with the acronym ETR. What?
It's the testing that they do for the students to see if they qualify for special education, so evaluation team report.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christina.
Item number 5, approval of minutes. It is recommended that the board approve the minutes of the regular meeting of October 19th, 2021, and special meeting of November 4th, 2021, Exhibit 1 and 1A.
So moved.
Second?
Dustin, when you're ready, please.
Mr. Lance,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Petrie,
Yes.
Mrs. Dotson,
Yes.
Mrs. I'm sorry, Mr. Hofer.
Adult word. Thank you. Yes.
Motion passes. Item number 6, citizens' comments on agenda items. Citizens' comments on agenda items are welcome at this time. Participants shall be limited to 5-minute durations. Do we have any citizen comments on agenda items this evening? Seeing none, we'll move to item number 7, payment of bills monthly. It is recommended that the board approve payment of bills for the month of October pending audit in Exhibit 2.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mrs. Dotson,
Yes.
Mr. Petrie,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Lance.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item number 8, payment of bills then and now. It is recommended that the board approve a resolution for payment of bills per Ohio Revised Code, Section 5705.21D, Exhibit 3.
So moved.
Second.
Dustin, when you're ready?
Mr. Lance,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Petrie,
Yes.
Mrs. Dotson,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item number 9, acceptance of financial reports. It is recommended that the board accept the financial reports from the treasurer for October 2021, Exhibit 4, 5, and 6.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Dustin, when you're ready?
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mrs. Dotson,
Yes.
Mr. Petrie,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Lance.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item number 10, personnel. It is recommended that the board approve the following personnel items. 10.1 resignation. Accept the resignation of classified employee Lisa Edsel from the reduction in force list effective November 5th, 2021. 10.2 resignation. Accept the resignation of certified employee Kelly Badman effective November 26th, 2021. 10.3 FMLA leave of absence. Approve FMLA leave of absence for teacher Betty Kern beginning October 27th, 2021 through the remainder of the 2021-22 school year. 10.4 FMLA unpaid leave of absence. Approve FMLA unpaid leave of absence once sick time is exhausted for classified employee Donna Walker beginning November 18th, 2021 through approximately the end of the 2021-22 school year. 10.5 employment. Employ John J. Otterman as a long-term substitute teacher for the 2021-22 school year per the negotiated agreement pending proper licensure effective first day assigned. 10.6 employment. Reassign classified employee Matthew Schulte as an 8-hour custodian at Springfield High School and Junior High per the negotiated agreement pending proper licensure effective November 8th, 2021. 10.7 volunteer coaches. Approve the following as volunteer coaches for the 2021-22 school year pending proper licensure. Garrett Harrison, wrestling coach. Matt Wilkinson, wrestling coach. May I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Chad, were you the second?
Yes, sorry.
That's right. Thank you. Any questions or comments? If none, Dustin, please.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mrs. Dotson,
Yes.
Mr. Petrie,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Lance.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 11, employment of substitute teachers. It is recommended that the board approve a resolution to temporarily adopt modified education requirements for substitute teachers in accordance with Senate Bill 1 for the duration of the 2021-22 school year, Exhibit 7.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Hopefully it gives us some relief.
Yes. And this is in relation just to the difficulty in finding substitute teachers, not only here, but across the state and across the country.
Yeah, well, Akron threw a wrench into that plan too.
Yep. Dustin, please.
Mr. Lance,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Petrie,
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 12, donations. It is recommended that the board accept the following donations. 12.1, Gianni's Pizza LLC, a donation of $375 to the athletic department from Gianni's Pizza LLC. 12.2, Spartan Booster Club, Inc., a donation of $1,500 to the athletic department for the athletics fall banquet from the Spartan Booster Club, Inc. 12.3, Springfield Youth Girls Basketball Association, a donation of $3,500 to the Springfield High School girls basketball team from the Springfield Youth Girls Basketball Association. 12.4, Springfield Youth Girls Basketball Association, a donation of $1,500 to the Springfield Junior High girls basketball team from the Springfield Youth Girls Basketball Association. 12.5, David and Tammy Hofer, a donation of $500 for classroom supplies and 3D art from David and Tammy Hofer. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Dustin?
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Petrie,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Lance.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item number 13, policy review. Bylaws and policies. Board members have received copies. 0169.1, public participation at board meetings revised. 1530, evaluation of principals and other administrators revised. 1617, 3217, 4217, weapons, new revised. 2271, College Credit Plus Program revised. 2370.01, Blended Learning revised. 5111, Eligibility of Resident, Non-Resident Students revised. 5111.02, Educational Opportunity for Military Children revised. 5200, Attendance revised. 5350, Student Mental Health and Suicide Prevention revised. 5516, Student Hazing revised. 5630.01, Positive Behavior Intervention and Supports and Limited Use of Restraint and Seclusion revised. 5722, School-Sponsored Publications replacement. 6114, Cost Principles, Spending Federal Funds revised. 7300, Disposition of Real Property, Personal Property revised. 7450, Property Inventory revised. 8330, Student Records revised. 8462, Student Abuse and Neglect revised. 8600, Transportation revised. 8740, Bonding revised. We do not need to vote, it's just a first reading. Item number 14 is our treasurer's report. Mr. Adams was not able to join us tonight, so I believe we will be skipping that item. Item number 15, business manager's report. Mr. Boswell?
Good evening. A few items I'd like to go over with you this afternoon. Talk a little bit about food service here this evening and some of the things that we're seeing within food service, especially with food acquisition. And this is something that we're all seeing at the grocery store, but rising prices and lack of availability here. The documents that I have here in front of you are just one of our buildings, the high school's, one of their recent orders there. And you can see the first few lines that I have highlighted in green there are items that we have ordered, and we were only able to get partial cases of those items. And then the next 20 lines are items that were unavailable, that were ordered. And then the following items were items that were available. We are seeing, even on the items that are available, a cost increase. Some of the items, popular items that we purchased, we sampled and looked at and saw about an average of 7% cost increase on those items versus last year. The ordering part has changed a lot of menus throughout the year. We've had to make adjustments based on the food availability there, and ordering has gone from for the managers and my assistant, maybe a 4-hour process to nearly a 2-day process back and forth as they, not full days, but back and forth throughout that time, trying to, once they submit orders and then get word back from our supplier, what's not available, and have to find an alternate item or change the menu to adjust to those items. So we're making it through right now, but it's been a constant struggle every week to get through and make sure that we've ordered ahead items that are available, so we try and stock them in case they're not available the next time around there. So we're doing that within our capabilities to alleviate any future issues there. But it's been a struggle in food service, just getting the food items there.
What's that doing to the cafeteria budget?
Right now, we're tracking we're making increase, we're chipping away at the deficit right now just with the volume that we're selling right now, but it's one of those could be better situations if we weren't paying these higher prices. And typically, beginning of the year here, COVID has everything on its head with participation there and the free meals there, so it's hard to predict what the rest of the year is gonna look like, this being the first year we've had all students back in the building since COVID started, but our participation numbers have been pretty good thus far, so
Good.
that's helping out overall. In transportation, we obviously have been having a lot of struggles. Today, we implemented some route changes that eliminated one route throughout the, it wasn't one complete route, it was a leg of a route here, leg of a route there, so it required adjustments overall there. We sent out this past weekend the new times and everything to everybody, and those were implemented today to try and, this is not gonna solve the problem by any means, but trying to alleviate some of the problems that we've had. We'll need to fill one less driver seat each day at this point, which, we've unfortunately been unable to fill all of our seats, and we're pulling our mechanics are driving almost every day. Our dispatcher drives multiple times a week. We have maintenance personnel that are being pulled off their maintenance responsibilities to drive when there's emergencies. Routes have been split, doubled up on, on a daily basis. I mean, transportation staff are doing an excellent job trying to just do whatever they can to make this work, but, as we've all seen, we've still had to suspend routes, not every day, but probably the majority of days at this point. We've had 60 instances of routes being canceled. Some of those might be on multiple days, but and we are rotating those around so as to try not to overly burden any particular households with routes that we do have a couple routes that are just completely open that we don't have a contracted driver for right now. So not to overburden those families, we are rotating the suspensions around. We do have drivers in the pipeline that are going through training. As Melinda talked about at our October meeting there, it's a lengthy process to get a bus driver through all the training and certified. And availability of training and testing is a key component that's holding us back right now. A driver and trainer went to Toledo this week to test because there was an open slot, so they went there to perform that test there. They still have to wait for the state mandated training class, which can't happen until December to get that driver on the road there. So it's, we have people going through there, just, it's a lengthy process, and, you know, there is a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, but every day, you know, we've had instances of some substitutes find other employment that has further strapped us in finding drivers. So there's a lot of variables that we're just, we're continually trying to make that a little more consistent, but still anticipate struggles moving forward there. And then the last item that I have there for you is a look at our detailed COVID dashboard. Here right now, as we sit, we have 12 active cases between students and staff across the district. We are, at the bottom of the page there, I gave a weekly tracking of COVID cases there. We were starting to see downtick in cases there this week, just in these 2 days. We met our month high point for a week in these 2 days here, so we're watching that closely. We've seen it to where that may mean we're gonna have a really high week with cases. We might not have another case the rest of the week. I know I just jinxed myself with that. But you know, we've seen it, the numbers go all over the place, but we are watching that closely to see what that does. And the new mask to stay regulations are great to keep students in class. We're not having to send kids home as with being close contacts at this point with the new regulations that were released. That's always been our goal, so we're glad to see those regulations, and that's certainly helping out. But the cases here will continue to monitor closely. Any questions?
I don't think so. Thank you, Mr. Boswell.
Thank you, Dustin.
Item number 16, Superintendent's Report.
All right, first I want to thank Kevin Vaughn for that presentation on our athletic department. Also, I want to thank our student athletes and our coaches for all the work that they do with these children day and night. I mean, they work with children all day during the practices and the competition. On the weekends, I've been out, traveled around and see the teams participate. So I want to thank these athletes and the parents for putting the time in to let these children participate in great programs. So thank you, Mr. Vaughn, for your work that you do. Also, I want to thank our Special Services Director, Christina Zigabut, for the work that she does with our students, providing services to them to help them be successful as they go through their educational process. And it's always a pleasure to see our staff working with our children, and so proud of that. So thank you. And then I also want to thank, if you saw tonight, the donations that we received for our children. All these dollars go towards the benefit of our children. So we really want to thank all the folks, communities, and the individuals that have donated tonight or in the past to our children. So thank you for those folks. Hey, Thanksgiving is next Thursday. As we reflect on the many things for which we're thankful, I want to take this opportunity to share just a few of them with you. And we're thankful for our students who are ready to learn every day. They come to school ready to learn every day. We're also thankful for, I want to go down a list of folks, our teachers and our tutors, our school counselors, our educational aides and the monitors, our office staff, the cafeteria workers who work hard every day preparing meals for the children, the school nurse and all the medical assistants in the buildings, maintenance and custodial, bus drivers and mechanics, coaches, administrators, the safety forces that we have working with the Springfield local schools, community partners. We're also thankful for the volunteers who enthusiastically contribute so much to our school. And we also want to thank our board members here for working with all the children and the staff and the community to keep things positive here in Springfield. Most importantly, we are thankful for the parents that have put their trust in us, They continue to share their most valuable possessions with us, and for this, we're thankful. I'd like to wish all of our families a happy, healthy, and relaxing Thanksgiving holiday. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sincere. Item number 17, items worthy of your note. November 25th and 26th, Thanksgiving vacation, no school. November 29th, conference comp day, no school. December 17th, end of the second quarter, first semester. December 20th, teachers' records day, no school. December 21st, winter vacation begins. December 21st, next regular Board of Education meeting, 6 p.m., Springfield High School and Junior High. January 4th, classes resume. We will also be having a special board meeting on December 7th. I believe that's at 5 o'clock.
Yes, 5 o'clock.
And we will be scheduling another one, although we're still trying to work out the dates on that. Item number 18, citizens' comments. Participants shall be limited to 5-minute durations. Are there any citizens' comments this evening? Seeing none, item 19, board members informal. Anybody like to go first? How about you, Larry?
Sure. I was particularly impressed with the slide presentation by Coach. Appreciate seeing some faces. It always puts a little more positive spin on what we hear about. And even with the pay to participate, it's obvious that people care about these kids and that they're doing some great things. So I really appreciate that. Thank you for your presentation.
I just wanted to say, thanks, Kevin, for your presentation. It's good the kids still have activities to participate in. And thank you, Christina, for your update. I wish we could get everybody to participate in behavior modifications. However, anyway, I was on Facebook this morning, always, and checked the birthdays and everything, and I went into my memories, and I just have to read this to you. This was in, I think it was 6 years ago. Today, day 16, I am thankful for my community. We all have realized the need for a new school for our children. The project is a wonderful 7 to 12 building. I am so excited that our building will be wired for the latest technology, energy efficient, and beautiful building. The community really stepped up, and I am so proud to be part of Springfield Township and Lakemore. And the best part is we are on time and under budget. At that time we were. Springfield, thank you. Our children deserve it. It's going to be spectacular along Canton Road, and it certainly is. And I'm still thankful to this day for this building because our kids do deserve it. They deserve a nice building. They also deserve a well-funded school, and I hope next year that the community of Springfield and Lakemore, parts in Portage County and part in Coventry, will step up and say yes to our kids. That's my hope and my prayer for our school system. I hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving. It's going to be fun for me. My kids are all going to be home, so and we'll bake lots of pies. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Dave. Scheduled programs for our Springfield channel include the Lakemore Council meeting. These will be running this month, correct? Okay. The Lakemore Council meeting, Springfield Township Trustees Special Meeting will started on the 10th of November. The 2021 Halloween and Pet Parade, Lakemore Halloween Costume Parade, and the Springfield Board of Education Special Meeting of 11/4/21. That's what's running now on our Springfield channel, and that's 1023 on your Spectrum channel. If you have Spectrum, it won't be on Dish or the other DirecTV, but will be on the Spectrum Springfield channel. Thank you.
You're welcome. Alumni Wednesday. It's usually put up on Wednesday by a teacher here. And this month, we're gonna look at Becky Regalis Grunwald, graduated from Springfield in 2000. She's self-employed with the Other Side of Neutral, where she's an interior decorator and social media influencer. Becky helps others love the home they are in by inspiring home decor projects that bring new life to the space. She also runs an active social media account that focuses on home decor and design inspirations. Follow her at the Other Side of Neutral. Becky is a self-taught interior decorator who has been published twice in Better Homes and Gardens. In high school, Becky was a cheerleader, a member of choir and Spartanaires. Her favorite part of high school was the inclusivity of SHS. Our class was always close and truly stayed away from cliques. We were all friends. I'm lucky enough to say that my high school years were good memories that I carry with me and use as examples, good and bad, with my kids. Becky and her husband of 21 years and their 5 children are currently building their dream house on 30 acres with calves, goats, pigs, chickens, and horses. Y'all gonna have to see how that turns out. I'm excited for them. When asked what advice she would give our current Spartans, she responded, it feels like high school is the most important time of your life. It isn't. Don't peak in high school. There is more waiting for you. If you are a Springfield alumni and would like to be featured, follow the page, please, of Springfield alumni. And happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
The only thing I have, just want to wish everyone a happy, safe Thanksgiving and holiday season coming up. It's seems to always be a busy season, and a lot of times people forget what it's actually about as they're standing in line at 3 a.m. on Black Friday and fighting over a toy or whatever. So just keep in mind what the seasons are really about, and everyone be safe and happy holiday seasons.
Thank you. I really have nothing else to add either. Just want to thank everybody for their time this evening, and have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Item number 20, adjournment. It is recommended that the meeting be adjourned at this time. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Boswell?
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Petrie,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Lance.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.